Good evening and welcome to a series of critical conversations that we are having around health and development with Scroll by Consulting and in partnership with Survivors Against TB. My name is Chapal Mehra. I'm a public health specialist and writer. And today I'm inviting you to a discussion around what patients or consumers of healthcare need from the health system. As the world is gripped by the COVID-19 epidemic, health for once has become a great deal of focus. We're talking about health all the time. We're considering what is the problem with our health infrastructure, our health resources, but we rarely ask what patients themselves or consumers of healthcare need from the health system. Because how can we be planning re-engineering or reimagining healthcare without actually getting the perspective of those people who consume this care, who perceive this care, and who pay for this care? Now, the quality of care paradigm or example is a very interesting one, because what does quality of care mean? In today's world, it really depends on who is defining it. It has to be evidence-based, it has to be high class, good quality, but more importantly, it has to suit the economic, cultural, social, and gender contexts of the people who come to seek that care. So today we are going to be discussing this in great detail. We'll also be taking live questions. So if you have any questions, if you yourself have been a patient at some point and have had certain experiences around healthcare and would like to share them, please do reach out to us on our Twitter, on our Facebook, or on our Insta. I mean, anywhere that you want, you can ask us questions and we and the panel will try to answer them. A second thing that I do want to say is that we will try to make this conversation as multilingual as possible. So I will paraphrase some of what we are discussing in Hindi. हम ये बातचीत थोड़ी सी हिंदी और अंग्रेजी दोनों में करेंगे ताकि वो लोग जो इस डिस्कशन से, इस बातचीत से जुड़े हुए हैं और हिंदी में अपनी सोच और अपना पक्ष रखना चाहते हैं, वो हिंदी में ये सवाल भी हमसे पूछ सकते हैं और हम हिंदी में इसका जवाब देने की पूरी कोशिश करेंगे. So, without further ado, actually, let me introduce our panel. We have three very interesting panelists today. First, let me introduce Sandhya Krishnan, who is a lawyer, a mindfulness and wellness coach, and also a TB survivor. Our second on our panel is actually a young leader who is part of the Confederation of Young Leaders, Vansh Saluja, who is also a COVID-19 survivor. And last on our panel is somebody you have seen on this program before, Gautam Yadav, who is an international NORIC fellow from the Humsafar Trust and also someone living with HIV. Gautam has been an outspoken voice on the needs of PLHIV, not just in India, but all across the world. So welcome all of you. Thank you for joining me for this interesting discussion today. बहुत स्वागत है आप सबका. So let me first ask the question to you, Sandhya, because I think you have an interesting history. You're a lawyer, आप एक वकील हैं, and you were a young mother when you were diagnosed with TB. And we are in the context of discussing what is high quality care. बढ़िया देखरेख जो हमारा health system हमें देता है वो क्या होती है, और nobody can tell it better like a survivor or a consumer themselves. So TB is such a big disease in India. 28 lakh people, 28 lakh लोगों को TB होता है हर साल. You were one of them. You were a young mother. You had 2 kids, and you struggled with this disease. आप इस बीमारी से जूझी. What was your experience of healthcare? Tell us a little bit, and how you thought healthcare could have been better for you.
Thank you, Chapal. I got TB in 2011. Now, I don't know exactly when in 2011 I got it, because when I was finally diagnosed with it, I was told that I must have had it already for several months because I had so much of it in my lungs. And I think that's really where the problem starts. I was about to launch a new business. I was already running one business and, of course, 2 kids. And it was before the public service campaigns had begun. So TB was not something that was front of mind recall for any of us. I went to a GP first, just very close to my place of work. And that too, because my team, I was in retail at the time, और मेरे दुकान में जो लोग काम करते थे उन्होंने जबरदस्ती मुझे डॉक्टर के पास भेजा. And the GP just looked at me and she gave me some tablets and she said, take these, you'll be fine in 3-4 days. और उसके बाद I was not fine, but टाइम ही नहीं था. और मतलब मेरे मन में मैंने इलाज किया था, कराया था और मैंने गोली लिया और अभी ठीक होना चाहिए था. मुझे लगा कि बस अभी थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा असर होने के लिए. और उतने में 3-4 हफ्ते और बीत गए. And again, because I woke up in the night with like severe lung pain, and family doctor just said, go and get an X-ray. और उस टाइम पे भी मुझे बिल्कुल शक नहीं था कि टीबी जैसा मतलब कुछ चांस भी हो सकता था. माय ओन एक्सपीरियंस, अगेन मैं पहले हमेशा बोलती हूँ कि आई एम डेफिनेटली अमंग्स द प्रिविलेज वंस, कि मैं पहले से ही प्राइवेट में गई थी और मुझे एक्सेस था ये सब का. लेकिन मेरे टीम में, मेरे दुकान में 2-3 स्टाफ मेंबर को भी टीबी हुआ था. उनका एक्सपीरियंस बिल्कुल अलग था, क्योंकि पहले वो लोग मुझे बता भी नहीं पाए, उनको इतना डर था. तो जब मैं डॉक्टर के पास गई तो उन्होंने जो एक्सपीरियंस था ना, आई रियली डोंट वांट टू से एनीथिंग बैड अबाउट डॉक्टर्स, बिकॉज माय ओन पेरेंट्स आर डॉक्टर्स, माय डियरेस्ट फ्रेंड्स आर डॉक्टर्स, एंड आई नो दैट they still work 14-15-hour days. But I'll separate this into 2 parts. One is the amount of time that a doctor can give us, which I think is really limited, and therefore it probably falls on the paramedical services, perhaps, to give a patient the kind of time they need. But the one part which I feel can truly change right from the start, definitely in public healthcare, but also in private, is how the doctor communicates the details of the disease and the language that they use. To me, I was made, again, I love my doctor because he saved my life, and in his own words, you have 1 foot in the grave already. That was literally his words to me. But to tell a young mother that no idea if you're going to make it or not, you have so much TB, and you must be one of those society ladies who diets and parties all the time, and I was made to sound like, one, that I had done this to myself, 2, what it is that I have done, I have no idea. What I need to do other than take those 4 tablets twice a day, I had no idea. If somebody had told me today, I think the amount that stress contributed, lack of sleep contributed, both to my getting the disease, but also in the length of time for which I was ill and showed absolutely no progress. But also the fears, right, for your own mortality. हम लोग बॉम्बे में रहते हैं, इधर मेरा फैमिली नहीं है. मेरा एक ही सोच था कि अगर मुझे कुछ हो जाए तो ये दोनों बच्चों को कौन स्कूल लेके जाएगा. और ऑनेस्टली मेरा ये भी डर था कि मेरा बिजनेस कौन चलाएगा. जब मेरा डायग्नोसिस हुआ था, I was 2 days away from launch of one of my new stores. Honestly, जब हम लोग बिजनेस सब चलाते हैं ना, it is another baby only for us. तो मेरा पहला क्वेश्चन था, can I still go back to work? And then I was like, will I pass this on to my staff? Will I pass it on to my children? So I think, one, the time, but also the language. These are the 2 big factors, and I'll let the others speak and we'll discuss them more.
I think these are very बहुत अच्छी चीज. Again, is a very important thing, because language, the way people, the health system communicates to you, आपसे किस तरह बातचीत करता है, ये बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है. Gautam, let me turn to you, because आपका experience मैं खास ही सुनना चाहता हूँ. I want to hear about your experience. हमने बहुत बारी बात की है, we've discussed it, but you were diagnosed with HIV, and HIV is probably a little bit more stigmatized even than TB. And what was your experience like, if you can briefly tell me? And what were the challenges and gaps that you saw?
So I diagnosed in 2009 when I was 18. तब मुझे पता चला कि I'm HIV positive. But like Sandhya said, I was also fortunate enough to diagnose at a private center जहाँ पे मेरा HIV का treatment जहाँ से शुरू हुआ. But still, because at that point of time, because I was 18-year-old, तो वहाँ पे कुछ challenges थे जो मैंने face किए थे. Like for example that because treatment शुरू होने वाला है, तो you have to tell your parents. even if you are ready or not ready, you have to tell your parents because you are just 18-year-old. So वो एक मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज था. देन मेरे लिए ये था कि प्राइवेट क्लिनिक में प्रॉपर काउंसलिंग हुआ, सेशंस हुए, पेरेंट्स का भी काउंसलिंग हुआ, बिकॉज दे वर हैविंग सो मेनी डाउट्स कि अब ये पॉजिटिव हो गया है तो ये हमारे घर में जितने बच्चे हैं उनके साथ रह सकता है क्या, खा सकता है क्या, सो सकता है क्या, या हम लोग एक ही बर्तन यूज कर सकते हैं क्या. बिकॉज ये जो चीजें हैं ये आज भी कहीं ना कहीं चली आ रही हैं, जो कि लोग वो मिथ के साथ आज भी जी रहे हैं और उनको क्लियर नॉलेज नहीं होता है उनके बारे में. तो ये डाउट्स उनके वहां पे क्लियर हुए. बट सिमिलरली अगर कुछ गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल्स में अगर हम बात करें या बाहर हम बात करें, तो इनफैक्ट 2 weeks अगो जब आई वाज टॉकिंग टू वन पर्सन, मेरे पास क्योंकि काउंसलिंग के केसेस भी आते रहते हैं, तो दैट पर्सन वाज शेयरिंग दैट गौतम, बिकॉज मैं पॉजिटिव डायग्नोज हुआ हूँ और मेरे बाद मेरी वाइफ भी डायग्नोज हुई है, और तब मेरी वाइफ प्रेग्नेंट थी, तो जो बच्चा हुआ है अभी हमने उसको हमारे इन लॉज के यहाँ पे रखा है, पेरेंट्स के साथ बच्चा नहीं रह रहा है. नाउ माई डाउट वॉज कि कोई तो उनको काउंसिल कर सकता था कि बच्चे को आप रख सकते हो साथ में, आपको बच्चा नहीं छोड़ना है, इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी, यू नो. देन ही वाज टेलिंग कि मैं पहले पटना में रजिस्टर्ड था, बिकॉज अगेन ये भी डिपेंड करता है सर्विस प्रोवाइडर टू वन और अदर, बिकॉज कुछ गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल भी बहुत अच्छे हैं, कुछ सो लाइक बहुत ज्यादा अच्छे नहीं है. तो ही वाज शेयरिंग 2 experiences. वन वॉज कि मैं पटना में रजिस्टर्ड था और वहां पे उसे प्रॉपर सारी जानकारी मिल रही थी, काउंसलिंग मिल रही थी, डॉक्टर वो बहुत अच्छे थे, बट बिकॉज वो भागलपुर से था तो उसको वापस भागलपुर भेज दिया और वहां पे उसको बोला गया कि आप अपना ट्रीटमेंट वहां कंटिन्यू करो. तो जब वहां पे वो गया तो ही वाज टेलिंग मी कि मुझे यहाँ पे ना तो कोई काउंसलिंग देता है, मेरे इतने सारे डाउट्स होते हैं, मुझे कुछ पता नहीं चलता है. एक मेजर चीज जो हम कई बार फेस करते हैं वो ये है कि अगर कोई एक डॉक्टर है और उसके साथ हमने एक रैपो बिल्ड किया है, एक हमने रिलेशन बिल्ड किया है, तो बाद में पता चलता है वो डॉक्टर ही गायब हो गया, कोई और आ गया, या फिर 1-1 साल तक डॉक्टर नहीं है, 6-6 महीने तक डॉक्टर नहीं है, काउंसलिंग नहीं हो रही है. तो दीज आर द चैलेंजेस जो अभी भी एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. हम कितना भी बोल रहे हैं कि हम बहुत कुछ अच्छा कर पा रहे हैं, बट बहुत सारी जगहें, शायद हो सकता है दिल्ली, मुंबई, हैदराबाद ऐसे मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटीज को छोड़ के काफी सारे ऐसी छोटे शहर हैं जहाँ पे आज भी वो सेम सिचुएशन है जो लोग फेस करते हैं.
I think ये बहुत जरूरी बातें हैं, because one of the things that we understand about quality of care is that it should be accessible, it should be free, it should be available easily. But a lot of these things are only available either in the private sector, सिर्फ निजी क्षेत्र में available हो जाती हैं, या फिर ये आप अगर पैसे दें तो available होती हैं. Vansh, let me turn to you. You got the disease of the day. मतलब कि आपको तो सबसे ट्रेंडी डिजीज हुई थी, क्योंकि दुनिया में सब लोग इसी के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. लोग टीबी को भूल जाते हैं, HIV को भूल जाते हैं. एवरीबडी इज ऑब्सेस्ड विद COVID-19. एंड यू हैड एन इंटरेस्टिंग एक्सपीरियंस विद COVID-19. आपका कुछ काफी इंटरेस्टिंग एक्सपीरियंस था. आप खुद काफी आउटस्पोकन हैं, पॉलिटिक्स में काम करते हैं. तो संक्षेप में ब्रीफली टेल अस व्हाट वाज योर एक्सपीरियंस एंड व्हाट वर द चैलेंजेस यू फेस्ड.
So my experience was, I would say that the experience was very, very life-changing, both at the personal level and at the professional level as well. So I got contracted with COVID in June 2020 with whole of my family. और थोड़ा सा मैं हिंदी में बोलता हूँ ताकि और लोगों को ये समझ आए. और क्योंकि आप जैसे आपने बिल्कुल सही बोला कि ये एक डिजीज है जो बिल्कुल ट्रेंडिंग डिजीज है, तो इसके बारे में मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन भी उतनी ही ज्यादा है. इसलिए बहुत जरूरी है कि हम इस डिजीज की जो मिसकंसेप्शंस है उसको भी दूर करें. एंड मैं डिस्क्लेमर दे देता हूँ कि मैं दिल्ली में हूँ, सो व्हाटएवर केयर आई गॉट, एंड सिंस वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट केयर, so there's a lot of there might be a very urban bias towards the care I got. And just as the previous 2 speakers were also saying, probably I'm also coming from a very privileged background where I could have got the access to private care right from the very beginning. But I realized that जिस अभी दौर से हम गुजर रहे हैं, there are a lot of gaps. Even staying in a metropolitan city like Delhi and even having access to private care, I realize that there are a lot of gaps that need to be filled right now, especially with the disease that is, which is which is spreading at a very fast pace. So सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत मुझे लगती है during my whole diagnosis and during the COVID journey was communication, because the whole structure was very, very divided. There's a public health structure, then there's a private health structure, there was a complete lack of coordination between the two. So I think that since we were privileged, we were able to get access to good doctors from private sector. But I think that with regards to communication from the public health sector, public sector officials, or the district administration, there's a lot that needs to be done. And I think I'll discuss more as soon as we proceed, because I would also like to give fair chance to both the other speakers to speak. So I think with regards to the whole journey, as I said, that it has been very, very life-changing, and it has got me to know a lot of new things as well within the health structure. And possibly, I think as the discussion proceeds, we'll be able to, layer by layer, we'll be able to talk more about it as well.
Thanks. No, I think it's very important because a lot of people who we have worked with and who have got COVID-19, जिन्हें कोरोना वायरस हुआ है, उनके लिए ये life changing experience है. मगर एक तरह से every disease is a life changing experience. And you spoke about communication, so I want to take this question to you, Sandhya, because communication is critical, and you survived TB, unlike COVID-19, for which you may need care for only a month or a month and a half. For TB, minimum care, 6 से 9 महीने, right? Medicines. So Sandhya, I want to ask you, I mean, for good quality care, we usually go to a doctor, however good the doctor, public or private. Communication is one of the things which is always almost missing. This is a huge gap. You know, doctors don't tell you enough about the disease. They don't tell you about the medicine. Side effects को काफी हद तक dismiss किया जाता है. So as a survivor, what are your thoughts on it briefly, if you could tell me? Because you access very high quality care in a sense. What was your experience with regard to communication?
Communication was strictly, it was almost not even need to know basis. It was demand, and then you would get a snippet. हम लोग जो ऐसे डॉक्टर के वेटिंग रूम के बाहर बैठते थे, हम लोग कंपाउंडर को भी पूछते थे, हमें क्या करना चाहिए, इससे कुछ तकलीफ तो नहीं होगी, you know. And he's treating, I mean, he was a receptionist, not even compounder, so उनको क्या पता होता, and he didn't have the time also. मेरे ख्याल से और जब ज्यादा करके मेरे स्टाफ को जब हुआ था, it was unbelievable. उनको कुछ भी, उनको इतना डर था. एक तो एक आदमी ने तो सोचा था कि this is the end, hope ही नहीं है. When he finally told me, he broke down crying, thinking that बस this is now death sentence. And कोई नहीं था उन्हें थोड़ा होप देने के लिए कि हम लोग इसको लड़ सकते हैं, इतने सारे लोग हैं, आप दूसरों के साथ बात कर सकते हैं, you can speak to somebody who's come out of the disease, और उनसे you know you can get some strength, you can get some सहारा. कुछ भी नहीं था. मैंने उन दोनों स्टाफ मेंबरों को पब्लिक से निकाला और प्राइवेट में डाला, also because just for them to understand कि अच्छा आज पूरा दिन हम लोग उधर बैठ गए, फिर सेंटर बंद हो गया, हम लोग घर आ गए वापस. Then I said, but where is your medicine? They said, कुछ पता नहीं मैडम. Then I said, what is your next date? अभी देखना पड़ेगा, मुझे एक दिन का लीव लेके जाना बैठना पड़ेगा. So I mean, something as basic as tell you how to, if you know medicine in this center, then tell us where to go. We don't have access to which center has, which city has, किसी को लिखना है कि क्या है. ये just as basic as that, to going to down to family के साथ क्या करना है. जब मेरी बिल्डिंग में lady who got COVID, she was working here in our building. She didn't want to tell anybody because one, so she had to look after mother-in-law who first got TB. उन्होंने mother-in-law से contract किया TB. दूसरी बात, उनको 2 बच्चे थे और वो काम कर रही थी इतने सारे घरों में, where she could have been at risk as well. लेकिन वो सोचती थी कि मुझे कुछ बताया नहीं गया, अभी मुझे क्या पता, मुझे तो काम चाहिए और मुझे पगार चाहिए. So all of these things, to have these conversations, what is okay, what is not okay, can I feed my children, can my children sleep next to me, my husband wants to be intimate. I mean, so many questions, but I will say this, start with how do you get your medication. उतना तो बनना, उतना तो लगता है.
आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा, because this is one of the challenges that patients face, right? First, there are systemic challenges, but even if you get to a doctor, do you even get the information that you, I mean, after all, this is an important metric, and I want to reiterate to our audience. communication to the patient within the health system. आपकी बीमारी है, आपकी बॉडी है, आपकी दवाई है, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि क्या. अगर आपको हर चीज के बारे में मालूम नहीं है तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा गैप है हेल्थ सिस्टम में. दिस इज अ वेरी बिग गैप दैट योर बॉडी, योर मेट्रिक्स, योर डिजीज, बट यू डोंट हैव एनी इंफॉर्मेशन. आपको नहीं पता कि क्या करना है और क्या नहीं. Gautam, let me take what Sandhya said to you because I think it's very interesting. HIV has a slightly different experience, doesn't it? Because HIV may actually a lot of patients know exactly what they are doing, exactly the medicines. And what do you think is the success or gap still there? मतलब कि वहाँ पर क्या gap है, क्या success है, कुछ थोड़ा सा बताइए क्योंकि आप HIV में काम करते हैं.
अच्छी बात ये है जो मैं हमेशा देखता हूँ कि ट्रीटमेंट जो है वो टाइम टू टाइम चेंज हुआ है और बहुत अच्छा ट्रीटमेंट है. और ट्रीटमेंट के मामले में हम प्राइवेट देखें वो भी अच्छा है, गवर्नमेंट देखें वो भी अच्छा है. हम दोनों में ये अंतर नहीं कर सकते कि प्राइवेट जाओगे तो आपको अच्छा ट्रीटमेंट मिलेगा, गवर्नमेंट में जाओगे तो अच्छा मिलेगा, बिकॉज बोथ आर इक्वल. नाउ कम्युनिकेशन के मामले में जो सबसे बड़ा गैप होता है, जो आज भी चैलेंजेस फेस होते हैं, बिकॉज आपको भी पता है कि HIV जब किसी को डायग्नोज होता है या फिर HIV टेस्टिंग के लिए कोई जाता है तो प्री टेस्ट काउंसलिंग एंड पोस्ट टेस्ट काउंसलिंग ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करते हैं उस पर्सन के लाइफ में जो टेस्टिंग के लिए जा रहा है. नाउ कई सारी जगह हैं जहां पे आज भी वो काउंसलिंग कहीं ना कहीं मिसिंग है. बिकॉज अगेन ये जो भी बातें मैं कर रहा हूँ वो मेरे पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंसेस से बात कर रहा हूँ. बिकॉज मुझे आज भी कई सारे कॉल आते हैं कि गौतम मुझे रजिस्टर तो कर दिया है बट मुझे मेरे साइड इफेक्ट्स नहीं बताए हैं मेडिसिन के क्या होंगे, मुझे रात को डिजीनेस क्यों लग रहा है, वॉमिटिंग जैसा क्यों लग रहा है, मैं सो नहीं पा रहा हूँ, या अलग अलग टाइप के जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं. तो वो होता है. कई बार लोग बोलते हैं कि हमें बताया ही नहीं गया है, ज्यादा कुछ नॉलेज नहीं दिया गया है और बस ये डब्बा दे दिया है कि आपको ये दिन में एक बार मेडिसिन लेनी है. कई बार होता है कि आपको खाना 3 घंटे पहले खा लेना है मेडिसिन लेने से, और भी कई सारी चीजें जो कि मुझे लगता है कि कहीं कहीं सही और गलत दोनों इंफॉर्मेशन उनके माइंड में डाली जाती है. नाउ जब एक मिसकम्युनिकेशन हो जाता है तो वहां पे ये होता है कि मैं एक क्लाइंट हूं और मैं अगर जा रहा हूं और मुझे पूरा नॉलेज नहीं मिल रहा है तो व्हाट विल आई डू. अगर मुझे नहीं पता है कि मुझे XYZ पर्सन को कांटेक्ट करना है या कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में बात करना है, व्हाट आई डू इज आई गो ऑनलाइन एंड ऑनलाइन में सर्च करूंगा. और ऑनलाइन जब आप सर्च करते हैं तो बहुत ज्यादा चांसेस होते हैं कि आपको 100% सही जवाब ना मिले. बिकॉज फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मेरे सिर में दर्द हो रहा है और मेरे सिर में कंटिन्यूसली 1 हफ्ते दर्द हुआ और मैं जाके सर्च करूं ऑनलाइन, दे विल माइट टेल कि दिस इज सिम्टम ऑफ योर ब्रेन ट्यूमर, यू नो, या फिर लीवर में पेन हो रहा है तो ये लीवर कैंसर का सिम्टम है. तो ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं हार्म करती है लोगों को और जिसकी वजह से लोग कई बार बीच में दवाइयां भी छोड़ते हैं. एक लास्ट एग्जांपल देके मैं मेरी बात खत्म करता हूँ. आज भी जो कई सारे प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल्स हैं, दे आर मेकिंग मनी, दे आर चार्जिंग अ लॉट फॉर द टेस्टिंग, HIV टेस्टिंग. तो वो क्या करते हैं, वो सैंपल लेंगे, प्री टेस्ट काउंसलिंग नहीं हुआ है क्योंकि घर पे कोई आया है लैब टेक्नीशियन, विड्रॉ करके चला गया आपका ब्लड एंड देन वहां पे टेस्ट हुआ, आपको ईमेल में आ गई रिपोर्ट. अगर वो रिपोर्ट पॉजिटिव है तो भी आपका कोई काउंसलिंग नहीं हुआ है, डॉक्टर बस बोलेगा कि अगर आपको आना है तो आ जाओ, नहीं आना है तो वो कोई फॉलो अप नहीं होगा. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स जो अभी भी चल रहा है. और कई सारे ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, लाइक लिटरली वेल नोन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, इवन मीडिया चैनल्स की तरफ से कई बार केसेस आए हैं कि वहां के एम्प्लॉयज ने मुझे कांटेक्ट किया और मुझे बोला है कि गौतम हमारा तो HR में क्योंकि वो पॉलिसी है, आपको टेस्टिंग करवाना है, ब्लड सैंपल देना है, और उनमें से एक टेस्ट HIV का भी है जो कि हमें बताया ही नहीं गया और हमारा ब्लड सैंपल ले लिया गया है, अभी रिपोर्ट आ गया है, बेशक मेरा रिपोर्ट नेगेटिव है बट दिस इज अनएथिकल. तो ये सारी चीजें अभी भी हो रही हैं, लोग पॉलिसी नहीं फॉलो कर पा रहे हैं.
I think ये this is a very interesting gap that you have highlighted कि लोगों का consent और उसके साथ जो lack of information है उसको उनको नहीं मिलना, तो उनको समझ में नहीं आना, because even if they want to defeat the disease then they are at a loss because they don't get to actually understand it and deal with it properly. Vansh, I want to turn to you and ask you a different question because both Sandhya and Gautam have hinted at something, but I want to take that conversation a little further and ask you this question. What about mental health? Because we often forget our health system is obsessed with physical health. We don't care about what is happening to you, and we see it in TB, we see it in HIV, and in COVID we saw a lot of it, where some people even harmed themselves when they got COVID-19, where the recovery rate is so high,
Exactly.
and even then, the COVID is such a big thing that there is panic, and people go into depression, people go into anxiety, self-harm. We are seeing people run away from care centers because we have not taken care of their mental health. Their mental well-being is disturbed. They may not be physically getting it. So what was your experience? And if you can talk very briefly about what is the importance of mental health in the disease that you encountered.
I think mental health is very important, and if you are very, very forthcoming with regards to your mental health, and if you are in a good mental state, you will be in a better position to fight the disease. So, keeping your mental calm is very, very important when you are struck with the disease. And with regards to COVID and my experience, I think the reason why there's a fear psychosis in people today is because there's a lot with regards to the role of mass media as well, the role of social media as well. You keep on receiving a lot of texts 24/7 about the count of COVID cases, the number of deaths that are happening, and you also hear about bizarre stories, cooked up stories about how a person contracted COVID and such things happened. And when you're bombarded with this information 24/7, be it through mainstream media, be it through social media, there's a sense of fear that sets in. There's a sense of panic that sets in, and it is but natural that people would be affected by it. And this also leads to another issue, which is also very directly connected to this, is stigmatization. Because once you get to know that a patient is diagnosed with COVID, there's a complete stigmatization of that patient that is happening. And I'm sure that even with HIV and TB, there's a lot of stigmatization as well, which Gautam and Sandhya have already talked about. And that's the same which is happening with COVID as well. And all of this despite the recovery rates being so high, and despite the fact that 98% of the patients eventually recover. So I think that there's a need to make sure that, and I would really like to thank you and Scroll for taking this initiative by bringing patients of various diseases here, survivors of various diseases, so that we can really reach out to the patients, and we can really reach out to the people as well, so that we can really make sure that जो भी मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन कैंपेन है, मिसकंसेप्शंस है, उसको दूर करा जा सके, ताकि जो फियर साइकोसिस है, पैनिक है, जो मेंटल हेल्थ पे काफी इम्पैक्ट डालता है, उसको हम दूर कर सके. अब मैं अपने थोड़ा सा अपनी फैमिली के बारे में मैं बताना चाहता हूँ, जो हमारे साथ केस हुआ था. So since my mother was diagnosed with COVID first, and I have a sister and I have my father. So my mother got diagnosed first, and in a couple of days my father got diagnosed, and the next day me and my sister got diagnosed. So the number of calls that came to my mother, to my relatives, and to my extended family, that really created a situation of panic. Although there was no serious symptoms. तो आपको सिर्फ जुकाम है, थोड़ा सा बुखार है, 99-100 बुखार है, और आपको जरा सी खांसी है, तो ये जैसे आपको एक नॉर्मल फ्लू में भी होता है. बट जो उसके अराउंड पैनिक था, उसकी वजह से जो मेरी सिस्टर है या मेरी मॉम है, उनको काफी ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट हुआ साइकोलॉजिकली. तो आई थिंक दैट मेंटल हेल्थ का जो एक डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन है, वो it's also related to the public discourse around a disease. And I think we need to correct the public discourse around various diseases so that there can be a positive impact on mental health as well. And जो unfortunately बहुत negative consequences होते हैं अगर आपकी mental health सही नहीं है, अगर आप if you're not in the correct mental state, it will be very difficult for you to really fight that disease. So I think if you are in a good mental state, the half battle is already won. So I think that all of us should take this initiative of making sure that हम लोगों को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा aware कर रहे हैं diseases के बारे में, उनकी consequences के बारे में, ताकि जो ये negative environment बन गया उसको हम थोड़ा सा ठीक कर सकें.
I mean, I think those are very important points, because mental health, this is another metric that we've identified. The first one was communication. The second one was how can you have physical well-being? How can you cure or expect someone to be cured if you're not taking care of their mental and emotional health, actually?
Exactly.
they are related. Sandhya, let me turn to you with this question because it was very interesting. You were a young mother and you didn't have enough information. आपको ज़्यादा पता नहीं था टीबी के बारे में और आपको स्टिग्मा का भी फेस करना पड़ा क्योंकि आपको पता नहीं था बताऊं ना बताऊं. ऊपर से you had to stay away from your children, right? आपको तो अपने बच्चों से अलग रहना पड़ा क्योंकि you didn't want to infect them. So if you could touch briefly on that experience, because I think people forget that a disease affects genders differently. Health system ये recognize नहीं करता. A disease affects a single person or a mother differently. You know, there are so many nuances, and the health system just looks at diagnosis and treatment. So, आप कुछ बताइए इसके बारे में. Tell us a little bit about your experience.
पहली बात तो डर था. My biggest fear कि ये इतने छोटे बच्चे हैं और उनको टीबी हो जाए मेरे वजह से. You know, besides me having to fight, and keep in mind that when you're fighting with so much TB, it's a very painful disease also, right? Physically and exhausting. And with 4 drugs for a whole year, you have like no energy, no strength, and you're nauseated all the time. और ऊपर से ये डर कि उनको कुछ हो जाए, मैं क्या कर रही हूँ. उनको समझाना इतना आसान नहीं था, लेकिन वो लोग समझ गए. They knew immediately. I thought I was being very clever, saying, बच्चा आज मैं जब मैं काम से आती थी, मैं उनको hug नहीं करती थी, मैं सीधा अपना bedroom में चली जाती थी. And I thought, you know, that they are always very playful and 2 naughty boys and things like that. I thought, okay, you know, this will swing by soon, or I'll ask my doctor next time. और ऐसा था कि मुझे ऐसा हमेशा लगता था कि मुझे ration करना पड़ता था अपने questions, कि आज मैं डॉक्टर से you know ये 3 questions पूछूं, next time जब मैं जाऊं तो मैं और 3 पूछ सकती हूँ. ऐसा था कि एक ही टाइम पे मुझे पता था, क्योंकि मुझे भी बुरा लगता था कि वेटिंग रूम में ऐसे 20 लोग हैं, मैं ही उनका टाइम कैसे ले सकती हूँ. तो बच्चों के बारे में तो वो एक इंसिडेंट था स्कूल में उनका कि सबको अपना वॉलंटियर करना था कि वो लोग कुछ स्कूल का फेस्ट के लिए क्या क्या करने वाले थे. तो ये दोनों ने बहुत इंटेलिजेंटली स्कूल में मिलकर डिसाइड किया कि देखो हमारी मम्मी बहुत सिक हैं, so much for my trying to hide it from them and showing them that I was absolutely fine. This is हम लोग ना घर के सारे शीट्स लेके उधर जाएंगे, सब टेबल को कवर करेंगे, तो फिर हमारा वॉलंटियरिंग काम हो जाएगा, मम्मी को कुछ बनाना नहीं पड़ेगा या पकाना नहीं पड़ेगी. And they are telling me this so happily, so cheerfully. And it taught me 2 things. One is that you can't hide anything from children, you know, however young you think they are and whatever you want to protect them from, you can't really protect them, not physically, not emotionally also. लेकिन ये भी कि बच्चों में इतना साहस है और इतना, I think समझदारी, I don't know what it is, wisdom really the word is, कि they gave me really the confidence that for me to fight on. So it was bittersweet, I will say, and I learned a lot from that experience. But I again, other women I know have been less lucky. उनको अपना बच्चों का भी ख्याल रखना था, ऐसा भी चीजें. मेरा एक्सपीरियंस सबसे ज्यादा यही होता है कि मैं बोलती हूँ अरे थोड़ा अंडा खाओ, आज उपवास मत रखो, और वो लोग क्या करते हैं, अंडा को लेके अपने बच्चों को देते हैं. Now it's very, if you had asked me also, you know, to eat what was my child's share, it's very hard to ask a mother to do that, but to explain that your survival is paramount, I think these are the conversations we need to be having.
I mean, I think, thank you so much for bringing this also to the conversation. I just want to tell our viewers we are halfway to the point. If you have any questions, if you want to ask us something, or if you want to share your experiences, please feel free to do so. Gautam, one of the things that Sandhya said, but it is also a question that has come up often, is the value of care. Who affords what care? Because high quality care दुनिया में सब जगह available है, बस पैसे होने चाहिए जेब में, है ना? And very often large sections of the world population can't really afford care, right? As something that COVID has shown us, as HIV has shown us, is a good example, but COVID has shown us more sharply, right? Because hospitals are overburdened, ICUs don't have beds, ventilators are not available, you cannot isolate yourself. But at the same time, there are 5-star hotels that are providing isolation. You can pay 8,000 rupees a day and get isolated. ये जो difference है, तो केयर, सारी केयर अफोर्डेबल है, और अगर नहीं है तो होनी चाहिए. That is an important metric I wanted to ask you. And how accessible should it be? Because आपने access की बात पहले भी उठाई, right? कि हर जने को नहीं मिलती. And all of you are talking about an urban bias in a sense, कि बड़े शहरों में जो care. So touch on that a little bit and tell us, because you worked in smaller places also, जहाँ पर care इतनी अच्छी.
इट डिपेंड्स. कई बार होता है जो बहुत कॉमन सवाल आता है कि गौतम, मैं प्राइवेट में जाऊं या गवर्नमेंट में जाऊं, और अगर मैं प्राइवेट में जाऊंगा तो मेरा कितना महीने का खर्च होगा. कुछ लोग हैं जो अफोर्ड कर पाते हैं तो वो बात करने के बाद जाते हैं कि मुझे प्राइवेट से ही लेना है, बड़े बड़े हॉस्पिटल से. बट बहुत सारे लोग, बहुत सारे क्या 95% लोग तो ऐसे ही होंगे जिनको सहारा लेना ही पड़ता है कि हमें गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल के अलावा और कहीं नहीं जा सकते हैं. तो ऐसी सिचुएशंस में जाहिर सी बात है कई सारी चीजें एक दूसरे के साथ लिंक हो जाती हैं. जैसे कि अगर हम मेंटल हेल्थ के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, एंड बीइंग अ पर्सन फ्रॉम द LGBT कम्युनिटी, एक गे होने के नाते, लाइक सबसे पहला सवाल, अगर मैं टेस्टिंग के लिए भी जा रहा हूँ या ट्रीटमेंट के लिए जा रहा हूँ, तो शायद मेरे दिमाग में ये आएगा बिकॉज मेरी सेक्सुअलिटी अलग है. या फिर एक ट्रांसजेंडर पर्सन की अगर हम बात करें तो उनको देखते ही लोग समझ जाते हैं कि दिस पर्सन इज अ ट्रांस पर्सन. तो उनको जो स्टिग्मा और डिस्क्रिमिनेशन फेस करना पड़ता है, एक तो उन्हें ट्रीटमेंट वहां से ही लेना है, दैट इज वन थिंग, वो चेंज नहीं कर सकते, उनके पास वो ऑप्शन नहीं है. दूसरा, जब वो वहां जाते हैं तो एड ऑन चीजें जो वो लेके आते हैं, दैट इज मेंटल हेल्थ इशू. उनके साथ जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हुआ है, उनके साथ जो स्टिग्मा हुआ है. इनफैक्ट कई बार ये बात आई है और बातों बातों में मैंने भी कई सारे लोगों के साथ ये डिस्कस किया है. नाउ थिंक लाइक इफ आई कैन थिंक लाइक दिस वे, तो अदर्स पीपल विल आल्सो थिंकिंग मे बी पॉसिबली दैट अगर मुझे कोविड हो जाता है बीइंग अ HIV पॉजिटिव पर्सन, तो क्या मुझे डॉक्टर्स वैसे ही ट्रीट करेंगे जैसे कि कोई पर्सन HIV नेगेटिव है? बिकॉज दे माइट थिंक कि अरे इसको तो ऑलरेडी HIV है, फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी हम इनको देते हैं. You know what I'm trying to say. So ऐसे सिचुएशन में आप कैसे हैंडल करेंगे चीजों को? बिकॉज कोविड में तो ये भी हो रहा है कि यू कांट टॉक टू एनीवन, आप टोटली आइसोलेटेड होंगे. आप जाके उस हॉस्पिटल में आप रह रहे हो, आपके पास सिर्फ डॉक्टर के अलावा और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, यू नो. सो दीज आर द चैलेंजेस जो मुझे लगता है. तो ये सारी चीजें अभी भी एग्जिस्ट करती हैं, एंड वी कांट डिनाई दिस.
So, I mean, I think we've got a question from Arshita, which I think is intended for you, but also more broadly for the other panelists. Sandhya, she's saying that the symptoms of women are ignored more broadly by health system, right? And aren't taken as seriously as their male counterparts. How do you think health systems need to address this inherent? कि ये जो है कि महिलाओं की जो बीमारियां हैं, शायद उनको उनके सिम्टम्स जो उनको इतनी नहीं किया जाता. How do we address it?
Absolutely right. Just because we're on a public forum, I'll say like a lot of the symptoms that we experience, nausea or dizziness or tiredness, is often dismissed as, "Arey, you're just being dramatic, or you're being that's the sort of language that is often used that I see with other survivors. I think awareness really. I also feel एक चीज था कि मुझे I think with HIV and please correct me if I'm wrong, my friend, but there has been so much work being done in the sensitization of how healthcare workers talk to patients, what is not okay anymore to ask, and what can further stigmatize, what can traumatize the patient. इतना सब हमने किया है HIV के लिए कि तो क्यों ना हम लोग वही टीचिंग्स को TB के लिए भी ट्रांसफर करें या एक्सपैंड करें. एंड नाउ वी विल प्रोबेबली हैव टू डू दैट फॉर कोविड एज वेल. It's not reinventing the wheel. We don't have to develop new protocols really, and very often these overlap as well, right? Like you rightly said, that very often these diseases sort of compound and come together. That's awareness, I think, really is the first step with healthcare workers, but also community awareness, just disseminating information that, look, these are the kind of, the person needs your support, they need your understanding. And for something like a mother, you know, literally something like help out in the house, help with childcare, help with the, you know, this house running still always falls on the woman, and that doesn't change. Somehow you're expected to manage your disease and run a house and pack the dabba and send your kids off to school, and that doesn't really change on your socioeconomic status. I've seen this across the board. तो ये सब awareness ही first step है. I do believe change बहुत जल्दी आ सकता है if we are able to really have these conversations often and in the public domain.
I think those are very relevant points, because I think it's one is to create public awareness, लोगों को समझदारी हो, मगर healthcare workers की skills भी build होनी चाहिए, because I think that is a very important key takeaway, that one of the metrics should be sensitized and capable healthcare people, right? That you go to a doctor and he looks at you as more than a case. They look at you as an individual who has a social history, who has an economic context, who has a sexual context, right? हम तो भूल ही जाते हैं that people have sexuality to deal with, and it's a very critical part of surviving a disease. I want to ask all of three of you, but Gautam, I'll ask with you very briefly, 3 top metrics for good quality care. 3 elements that you think are critical, that define good quality care. Now, if you could touch on that.
बेसिकली मुझे लगता है जिस तरीके से अभी हमने सब डिस्कशन किया है, तो उसमें मुझे लगता है कि बहुत क्रिटिकल होगा और बहुत सपोर्टिव होगा अगर हम पीयर सपोर्ट की बात करें कहीं ना कहीं, बिकॉज दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. क्योंकि कई बार होता है हर जगह डॉक्टर का पहुंचना संभव नहीं है, कई बार हो सकता है काउंसलर का पहुंचना हर जगह संभव नहीं है, बट एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो कम्युनिटी बेस्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है और उसमें जो पीयर्स हैं, अगर वो पीयर काउंसलिंग कर रहे हैं, पीयर सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, तो दैट इज समथिंग जहाँ पे लोग काफी सपोर्ट ले सकते हैं एक दूसरे के साथ बात करके. ट्रीटमेंट के बारे में एज आई ऑलरेडी सेड दैट इज ऑलरेडी गुड, बट इट्स लाइक डायग्नोस होने के बाद और ट्रीटमेंट के बीच का जो गैप है वो कहीं ना कहीं बहुत क्रिटिकल है, जो कि उसको फिलअप करना कहीं ना कहीं बहुत जरूरी है. और उसके लिए एज संध्या सेड दैट अगेन एंड अगेन हमें बात करना बहुत जरूरी होगा और सेंसिटाइजेशन और वो अवेयरनेस की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है. क्योंकि अगर HIV में देखा जाए तो बहुत सारा सेंसिटाइजेशन किया है, बहुत सारा अवेयरनेस किया है, डॉक्टर्स ट्रेनिंग किया है, पीयर ट्रेनिंग किया है और भी बहुत सारी चीजें की हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद भी, इतने सालों बाद भी, आज भी हम यहाँ खड़े हैं और जहां हम ये डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि देखो उस गांव में ये डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हुआ या स्टिग्मा हुआ, यू नो. सो दीज आर द फ्यू थिंग्स जिनके ऊपर मुझे लगता है कि वी रियली नीड टू थिंक. एंड क्योंकि टाइम टू टाइम कई बार होता है ना, एक पॉलिसी अगर मैंने बनाई है 2010 में, जरूरी नहीं है ना 2020 में भी वही काम करेगी. वी माइट नीड टू चेंज इट, राइट? सो
I mean, let me take the same question to you, Sandhya. 3 important metrics, just 3 important metrics, simple, clear. No, for you, I mean, as a healthcare consumer, what would be good quality care?
1, doctor sensitization. 2, information access for the disease. 3, community sensitization for helping me survive the disease.
I think those are very critical points. One, what would you say? Because you've just survived COVID and your whole family survived it. So multiple issues there. क्या लगता है आपको? 3 important.
I think first would be, of course, I think Gautam and Sandhya have already touched upon a few important parameters which also are relevant for COVID as well. But speaking from my experience, again, effective communication is extremely important, extremely important. The second metric is, of course, community awareness, especially for a disease like COVID, where there is a scope of a lot of misinformation being spread. I think community awareness is extremely important so that it has an overall impact on the care that is being extended to the patient. And the last, which I definitely feel should be an important part of quality care, is quality care should be affordable. Just giving you an example of a few things that we had as a precaution when we had taken during our COVID journey. So we used to use these oximeters now, and we had these 4 people, and so we had 4 individual oximeters. Now that each oximeter costs about $1,000. So now that, and if an oximeter is considered to be one of the potent weapons against COVID, because you can only be a serious patient if your oxygen levels fall down. तो अगर आपका वो एक्सेस टू वो एक टूल ही इतना उसमें बैरियर्स होंगे, अगर वो महंगा होगा, so I don't think that patients would be getting that quality care. So I think since we come from a privileged background, we could afford that oximeter. But until and unless the government steps in and there's an intervention with regards to provision of these oximeters, for example, or so for example, our family also got an oxygen cylinder. So just in case we do not get any beds at the hospitals, we do not have access to ICUs. So we had, just for an emergency measure, we had got that oxygen cylinder. Now we had to deposit the security amount, which ran into thousands. So had we not come from a privileged background, we might not have got this kind of a care. So I think अगर हम quality care की बात करें, तो affordability is one of the very important issues that we also need to talk about. So these are the 3 parameters.
No, I totally agree with you, and I'm glad you brought affordability up, because भारत में इस वक्त कोविड की वजह से पूरे विश्व में जो हम देख रहे हैं, one of the critical things is that you can only get care if you have money in your pocket, in a sense, right? You can only be safe because a lot of people don't even have money for masks. So where are they going to get oximeters? Where are they going to get nutritional supplements? Where are they going to get oxygen cylinders? And I want to take also to you, Sandhya, because we deal with cases in TB all the time, and TB medication is not cheap either. So if you want good quality care in TB, you can't do it without a certain amount of money in your pocket for almost a year, isn't it?
Well, it's the thing is, it's accessible. But what is the meaning of this word access, right? Free medication is accessible, but like I said, with the guys on my own team, it meant waiting for a whole day, taking 1 day off work. Now, if you're a daily wage worker, can you afford to take that 1 day off work? I don't think so, right? It means your family's not going to eat. So what does it truly mean to make medication accessible and to make it free even? The other part I will say is just how critical good nutrition and like you also mentioned, like all of you mentioned about taking care of your mental health. Without these two, I think the medication is fairly useless, in fact, right? And how do you get inexpensive good nutrition, inexpensive access to healthcare, and like once you said, that could be from a peer group even. It could be such a strong help and a support group, but we need to know what it truly means. It's free. I mean, somebody like Survivors Against TB, it's free, but how many people even know about us? We need for the government services to make all of this aware and accessible to somebody who's had the disease.
Yeah. No, thank you. And thank you for bringing up the fact, some of your work with Survivors Against TB, because you're a leading advocate with them. But I want to also look at this question of affordability and access in a slightly more broader context. Because how do you then seek a challenge? How do you engage with the health system? So let me ask you this simple question. You go to a doctor. What do you want them? What do you want a patient to ask them? And what do you want the family to ask them, right? What do you want to demand of the health system? We've now discussed the elements of good quality care. But at the end of the day, you are a consumer and you are sitting in front of a doctor or a healthcare worker. And it is your job in a sense. Now, the power equation is totally skewed because doctor को तो हम भगवान बना देते हैं, है ना? And कुछ senses में कुछ लोगों के लिए वो भगवान होते भी हैं. मगर what would we ask them? Let me ask with you, Gautam, very briefly, because we are in the last few minutes. How would you want a patient and their family to engage with the doctor?
One thing which I would like to mention here, that is like अलग-अलग diseases में अलग-अलग challenges हो सकते हैं. मैं specifically HIV की बात करता हूँ क्योंकि वहां पे एक सेक्सुअलिटी का भी एंगल आ जाता है. अगर कोई पर्सन गे है या फिर ट्रांसजेंडर है या बाइसेक्सुअल है, तो कई बार ये देखा गया है कि वो मेरी पर्सनल हिस्ट्री है एज अ पेशेंट, जो कि मैं डॉक्टर्स के साथ इसलिए शेयर कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट टू शेयर विद हिम और हर. बट एट द सेम टाइम मे बी मैं ये नहीं चाहूंगा कि मेरी फैमिली को उसके बारे में पता चले, बिकॉज आई एम नॉट आउट टू माई फैमिली, और मेरी फैमिली को नहीं पता है मेरी सेक्सुअलिटी क्या है या और चीजें क्या हैं। तो कुछ चीजें हैं जो अंतर होना चाहिए कि डॉक्टर्स को ये समझ में आना चाहिए कि मुझे ये बताना चाहिए, ये नहीं बताना चाहिए, और फैमिली के ये सवाल हैं तो ये इनको किस तरीके से आंसर करना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो भी एक कहीं ना कहीं चैलेंज होता है, क्योंकि डॉक्टर तो बोल के खत्म कर देता है, बट इफ आई एम गोइंग बैक होम तो मेरे पास वो 50 नए सवाल आ जाएंगे जिनको वो मेरे लिए एड ऑन बर्डन हो जाएगा, क्योंकि मैं ऑलरेडी एक चीज से जूझ रहा हूँ।
So I think this is very critical because you pointed to something very important, that in not just in India but countries across the world, disease doesn't just happen to an individual; it happens in a family context. So you don't just have to address the individual; you have to address the family. And Sandhya is an example of that because she had to deal with it as a mother also. Sandhya, let me ask you: if you were in front of a doctor today, rewind. I certainly don't wish that, but you were in front of a doctor today, or if you access healthcare today, what would you do differently, and how do you think people should engage? लोगों को किस तरह डॉक्टर और हेल्थ सिस्टम के साथ engage करना चाहिए? Because we need to bring change amongst ourselves also.
I think for a disease like TB, COVID, HIV, where the numbers are so massive, I feel like जैसे कि कोई बच्चा पैदा होता है और he's premature, it becomes like an emergency for the entire team, right? Because we know that this is so precious and this has such wide-reaching impact. Similarly, for a disease like this, I feel like the whole system should feel like, oh my God, here is somebody who's come to us so fragile, and this can have like a domino effect on so many hundreds of others. So let us treat this person with extra care rather than treating that person as like a burden on the system. We are the most vulnerable, we are the most fragile, and in many cases, the most disadvantaged members of society. And so we need to be treated with that much extra, I will say it's almost like a sense of preciousness, that if we save this one life, so many other lives are being impacted by it. And I feel that change of mindset is really, when I go there, I shouldn't feel like, oh my God, I'm yet another, tick box that the doctor now he's got to have to say, oh God, TB patient has come. I've got to now report it to the healthcare. Now I've got to do this now, it should be that this has happened to me, and it is a failing of the society that it's happened to me. To me, I cannot believe that after all these years, TB is still the highest killer in our country. I mean, why have we not eradicated it? Is that a failing of the state? Is that a failing of our community? Is that a failing of our communication system? So I'm a victim of that system. So is every person who has got HIV or any kind of a disease that we should have been able to control by now, that we should have had bigger awareness of by now. So I think that should be the big paradigm shift. Yes.
I mean, I think those are very critical things, because you're talking about how the onus cannot be on the individual. ये individual या उसकी गलती नहीं है. This is a larger systemic failure, right? Because that's what you're really saying. Vansh, I want to turn what Sandhya said to you. How would you advise people should engage with the health system? Because she is asking the health system to really look at every case as a critical one, especially in these diseases. How would you say?
I think I'll just take forward her point and elaborate upon it, because I completely concur with what she said. We as a community and we as a country should not see these cases, be it any disease, just as statistics. We need to humanize the disease. For example, when we talk of COVID, we have 55,000 people who've lost their lives. So I think that we need to move beyond seeing these numbers just as a statistic, and we need to humanize the whole process. Until and unless we do not do that, I don't think that the larger systematic mindset that is there with regards to any disease, for that matter, would change. Until and unless we just keep on seeing these diseases as statistics, that these many people are getting contracted with so and so disease, these many people are losing their lives to this particular disease, we would not be able to change that mindset. We need to make sure that even if one person is contracting a disease, we give it adequate care. The state makes sure that adequate care is given, and also ensures, tries its best to save that particular life. Only then we'll be able to move towards improving the quality of healthcare system in India, I think. So I think that is something which is very, very important. We need to move beyond seeing these cases just as statistics. Imagine that. So I just talked about COVID. 55,000 people have lost their lives. These are 55,000 resources, human resources, who could have really helped boost the country's economy, for example. So we need to see people as humans. We need to see them as people who can really are important to the whole nation's economy as well. And I think if we start to humanize the whole process, we'll be able to change the mindsets over time as well.
Thank you. I think that's very important. Gautam, you had just a line to add.
Just one thing I wanted to add, कि as a healthcare system, we just need to understand that कि affected कौन है और infected कौन है, और infected से हमें क्या बात करनी है और affected family से हमें क्या बात करनी है. That's it. वो अंतर कहीं ना कहीं lacking है.
No, I totally agree with you. I think this was a very useful discussion, because I think I just want to recap some of the things that many of you brought about the issue of accessibility, because Sandhya raised this saying, what is accessible, what is not, what is affordable. I think that was a very important point, because how can you have high quality care if it's not affordable and not accessible? The critical issue of mental and emotional health and management of stress in a country where a large number of people are coping with these issues. The issue of stigma and the gaps between diagnosis and treatment. आपको जब बीमारी के बारे में पता लगता है और जब आप दवाई लेना शुरू करते हैं, उसके बीच में जो एक गैप है. एंड सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज शायद ये है that people are more than cases. एक इंसान जिसको कोई भी बीमारी होती है, वो सिर्फ बीमारी से नहीं जूझ रहा है, उसका एक सोशल, इकोनॉमिक और कल्चरल कॉन्टेक्स्ट भी है, जो इस हेल्थ सिस्टम को ध्यान रखना है हाई क्वालिटी केयर के लिए. So thank you all of you so much for joining me and sharing your stories. It is wonderful and it is extremely brave of you. I'm extremely grateful. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.